Hey Netta, we're live.
Hi, how
so,
am
so what?
I okay? Am I centered?
You know what? Move a little bit more to your left. Again,
This way? This way?
a bit more.
A bit more. How about this?
Nope. So go the opposite way of what you're doing.
Right here?
Nope. So move your body. Sit your body
Oh, my
straight up.
body? How about this?
I think I'm losing you.
Is
Well,
this
I can see half
this
of you.
okay?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, they
So
gotta
stay
know
right
I'm
there.
fine blind and the world is mine. We gotta keep it together.
Look, I know that's right. I know that's right. So, all right.
So
So
we
let me
good
do
right
my.
here, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So let's
All
go back.
right.
Hey everybody.
So, hey everyone, welcome to this is episode 6 of the Pathway to Healing series. I have Coach Vanetta Pottinger. Please let
Yes.
me know. Okay. So, she is a licensed life coach,
Got
and she is going to be talking today on limited beliefs. So, a little bit about Vanetta before she gets started is that she lost her eyesight some years back, and she's
7.
going to talk 7 years.
It's been 7 years.
7 years back. So she's going to talk about how she assists individuals who experience some type of loss due to a traumatic life altering event. I mean, people who lose a limb suddenly, their vision, their hearing, the different limiting beliefs they might have, and how she supports them. So I'm going to give the floor to you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, we're gonna start. Am I still center for everybody?
You're perfect.
Hey, so a little bit about me. I have practiced to put my backstory in a 2-minute window. So this is gonna be fast. You guys listen. So I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it is going cold here. Very cold. As she mentioned, I am blind. I used to say vision impaired, but it doesn't work for me because I really, can't see anything. But back in 2013, my diabetes, I had type 1 diabetes since I was 12. I ended up losing my eyesight quickly. Well, to me, it was quickly. It just seemed like overnight, but I'm probably pretty sure it was slowly. I just didn't notice. And I also lost my kidney function. So, two whammies in 1 year, and it was not easy. So, when you begin things like dialysis and blindness, it's such a life altering situation. They tend to try to put you in groups to help you. So I began groups to help me and to cope with what was going on. I have such a different type of attitude. I kind of stood out, but that don't mean I didn't hear what they were saying. So I was happy, but I heard everything they were saying. So I will always hear, people on dialysis don't get married. I've seen people married, but I'm like, really? Oh man. And then, you hear the same thing about people on with blindness. I've seen people married, but I took it as not me. You know, one thing I learned is somebody that's newly blind should not be in a support group with other people that's newly blind. In all aspects of life, you need a mentor.
Right.
And I believe if I had that me type of mentor, I don't think those limited beliefs would have been so hard.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I have a real uppity personality, and I hope I'm still centered. And
You're good.
Okay, so I use that. Though I felt in the back of my head I'll never be married again, and I held on to that, I still, you know, went forward. It's like I got to do something else. So I made sure that when I went to dialysis, I danced, I sang. I'm like, hey, everybody, let's be happy. That don't mean the limited beliefs went away. So I
Right.
tried to date, and I held on to anything I could. Like, okay, he want to date me, no matter what. I don't have to worry about a husband because hey, he's here. And I ran into the wrong one
Mhm.
at the right time, we could say. He came in, handsome, this guy. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I don't have to worry about having a husband, a boyfriend. He told me he'll be that. So, in that sense of that mentality and that being the cure to so many problems or just that limited belief, I let everything go wrong and I stuck by because I
Yeah.
still believed it. Oh, not me. And through that, I beat myself up because it was like, okay, I'm doing everything. He said I can be his wife. why he not right? Why he not treating me right? You know what I'm saying? So when he did go and I met somebody else, I didn't know how to hang on. It was not a limited belief. It was more of a, I think I began to hurt other people type of situation.
Mm. Yeah.
So I not only was abused, I became the abuser.
Wow.
And
Wow.
we
Okay.
cannot exit, and I can admit that. We can't forget that we are part of life too.
Yeah.
So I probably caused somebody hurt. Did you think I cared in the moment? Because it was all about me. Because only person I wanted is that person. Because he
Yeah.
promised he was gonna be my husband. Those other ones did not. So I got a little better when I got transplanted about 3 years ago. Now I got my weight back, got my figure back. One person told me I was cute. I was ready. Like, thank you. And
I know
and
that's right.
and I'm still centered, right? Because I kind of moved when I laughed. I'm
You're
good.
perfect. I'll let you know. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. We're good. We see you.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
good.
So, and that's when my confidence came, but I still had to worry about one thing, myself and what I believe.
Yeah.
And I beat myself up so much. I'm like, only if I was sighted, if I would have seen his face, he don't even know. If I was sighted, I would have rolled down on him. He lucky ain't got my car. Then you beat yourself up because how did you get here? Because you
Yeah.
allowed, because this happened. Only if I did this better. So now it's like I'm chipping away at that. First thing is pushing those problems away. And those are hard in itself.
Yeah.
You push
And
away the opposite sex that you want to be married to. Like, it's
right.
hard.
And
Mm-hmm.
Netta, I wanna interject here. Thank you for that intro first off. I want to talk about limited beliefs because you weren't always blind.
Nope.
There was a point in your life when you could see. So speaking to individuals who might suddenly, let's say we talked about, I know on the phone, we talked about Boston Marathon, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
talked about individuals who were avid runners, avid joggers, and suddenly they lost a limb. They can no longer, run again.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone who might have lost their hearing or their vision, or, maybe they're diagnosed with cancer, something that's a life altering thing. When you
Yes.
when you talk about changing your mindset, what was the first step for you in changing that mindset when you said, this is not my disability? I'm
This is
actually going
life.
to use this, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to put myself, to a life of doom or whatever because I no longer have my vision. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
continue to move forward and still enjoy life. What was that turning point for you?
Um, this is gonna be funny, but I remember when I first lost my sight, I was fumbling around my parents' house because I had started getting sick and whatever the story is. So I'm fumbling around and I'm like, man, I really, really want some cereal. Like, this is real. And I was like, I can't wake mom because I always got up early. So the funniest thing is my first motivation, accepting that I have to do something on my own, was a bowl of cereal. So when you
Mm.
get, it could be as small as anything. You have to find that little thing to make your life make sense. I'm learning now, don't reach for big. Big, oh, I need this and I'll just jump up and walk. It's not that. You have to accept that nothing starts big. You have to plant a seed to build a tree, for a tree to grow.
Yeah, it's
So
a process, right?
yeah, it is. But the thing is, it's so hard to try to get people from where I was to where I am now sometimes because some people don't have that now. So it's now like, how do I teach you how to be happy? Can I coach you how to be happy? And
Yeah,
the way I look at it is, what I'm saying, what makes you happy? And take
yeah,
that feeling. Remember that feeling. You can't let that feeling go. If you let the reason go, you might forget the reason, but the thing is, don't let that feeling of happiness go. And when you're in a
yes.
place, grab that feeling and absorb it in any way you can.
And Netta, I know you're talking about someone who's lost their vision, right? Or someone who's lost some type of thing. I'm going to say that
Mm-hmm.
applies to all of us. That whole
Mm-hmm.
concept that you just said of what makes you happy, hold on to that. It's
Mm-hmm.
a process. Understand and acknowledge that it's a process is something that we can all benefit from,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
know?
another thing, it takes a person of that. It's hard for you to tell me about blindness and dialysis if you ain't been there. I don't care how many people you stuck a needle in a dialyze. I don't care how many people you walk down the street. Okay, now what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could teach me how to cook. Now, what am I supposed to do? You teaching me. Now close your eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the best thing is, like I said, is to have a mentor. I don't think the
Yeah.
best is to necessarily have a. I mean, you can have your support groups. Everybody share how they feel, but what you have to break off. You have to have a seasoned blind person. Is what my mentor say. I call her my mentor now. I was her peer mentor because she needed a kidney transplant. She became my mentor when it became the blindness because she got what 7 years on me. So
Yeah.
she told me now, she said, Vanetta, you still a newborn blind person. I said, newborn? Shoot, I thought I was at least a toddler. You know what I'm saying? It take a lot. It take a lot. You know, getting on the bus and people's rude attitude, you know what I'm saying? It takes you to be there to coach that. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it's hard for
I
me.
like that you said that.
Yeah, you have to be the person you coaching. You have to me, I think that's the best resource as a coach. Be the person you're coaching. You know, like for example, you can't have your kid, you know, jumping off the wall and teach me how to hold down my kid that has ADHD. I'm
Mm.
confused. You know what I'm saying? Be the person you're coaching.
So
And
in
I
other
think it
words, take
makes
your
you
own advice, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're advising someone on this is what you need to do to avoid having these self-limited beliefs and to hold on to that hope and to get that happiness, you
Mhm.
probably shouldn't be moping around too,
Nope.
while you're around that person. And it's natural to have our ups and downs, but not staying in that moment, right?
Yes. And then the thing is, when you said advice, when we coach, we rarely get that person from where they are to where they want to be. So we try not to advise them. We kind of try to push them, right?
Right.
So we have to know where to dig in us to prop them and give them the right questions to be there. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
not necessarily advice. It's like, can I dig in myself where she going through or he going through now and coach him?
Yeah. What is a common for the people that maybe you've interacted with in support groups or whatever when you first lost your sight? What were some common self-limited beliefs that people had?
It was, I can't.
I
I
can't.
can't, I can't, I can't. I can't put my, you know, plant flowers. I'm in my head. Did you plant flowers before? Because I love playing in the dirt. I can help you. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm just, and that's a natural thing for me. I'm a good strategist. Everybody doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I can't is a horrible word, but it's a lot of I can'ts when you blind. And I think the best way to get over that is first of all, change your mindset and say, I can.
Mhm.
Push that out your
Yeah.
head and go do it. If you
Start
gotta
saying I can. I like that.
I honestly been living in this building for 6 years and I ran into a wall over here. Do you think I'm like, who put that wall there? You know, you just got to figure out a way. Because
Right.
if I would have dwelled on that wall, I would have never been on time. If I
Yeah.
would have did what I did 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I would have sat in the corner and cried.
Wow.
But I
And
didn't.
that's growth, right?
Mhm.
That's growth. And I love what you said. You didn't dwell on that.
Mhm.
You did not say, I hit this wall. Woe is me.
Mhm.
This is my situation. You
If
said,
I would
okay.
if I would have came on here with a busted lip, I would have told y'all the story and don't let's keep pushing. Like y'all
Right.
got to get a little bit more lip gloss, but you know. So yeah,
You're
it's
too funny.
I I try to keep it going. You know, everybody deserve a laugh.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And your
And
life is not over, and I know for
nope.
a lot of people, when, and I can't speak as a person in that position, but I can only imagine how you might have some anger that comes with that or some other
Mm-hmm.
types of emotions that come with that. And you decide from this point forward, I'm just not going to be happy. I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to be angry.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying, no, when you're talking about getting out of a limited belief, you
Mm-hmm.
need to start saying, I can
Mm-hmm.
instead of the I can.
But it's another thing too. When the thing I go through with a little I ain't gonna say self abuse, I should say, is your own limited beliefs. You can really concoct and create your own limited beliefs in your head. And that is serious because when you
Yeah.
create one, guess what? You're gonna pass it down to somebody. Limited beliefs are contagious, just like a cold. You can pass it
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So use your own tissue. But you know, I created things in my head like I love to be happy. And I told you my purpose. I feel like that's my purpose. And I got to a point where I felt like I couldn't do it, you know, and I can't. What am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. And people say, oh, you know, people pass away. Oh, she was so happy. It's hard being happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's good being happy,
That's
but
why
it's
we
not
have so many
easy.
books on it and talks on it. Yeah, it's
Yep.
not.
So it's
Yeah.
not easy. I have been in a suicidal spot twice. I'm
Mm,
like, why is this
wow.
not happening? How come I do all this and then I stick that in my head. You know, it's a limited beliefs. I
Yeah.
can't, I can't. You know, people that's happy can't. Let me tell you, while you're smiling, you can't. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing I had to push away and not share.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
what gets you going? What's that something that keeps you moving? Because we all have that something. But when you're focusing on limited beliefs, what is that you hold on to?
I hold on not being abusive because I'm not abusing nobody but myself. So
Yeah.
if my goals is not to be abusive, that keeps me going because I have drive.
Yeah.
And that's hard to instill in somebody. You know, you said some, you know, we talk about when our journey began. And I asked you, can I put every day on my shirt?
Yeah.
Because every
You
day
did.
is another journey. Our journey never ends because guess what? We're gonna have those triggers. We're gonna have those people that jump in and out, and we see those people and they're gonna trigger us. But
Yeah.
the best thing about a race is the fact that we got to the starting point and we can go. And I love that feeling of waking up and saying, thank you, God, for another breath. I'm about to take off another race. So every day I
I
start
love
with,
that.
and then every day I don't beat myself up. I'm getting better.
I
You
love
know, I'm
that.
getting a lot
And you
better.
know what? What I did not ask you about, but I want to ask you about, because, before we end this, can you give an example of self-abuse? I know we've glossed on that, but what exactly is self-abuse?
Um, so you have people that you heard of that's physically self-abusive where they cut and stuff.
Yeah.
But me, I beat myself up like, what's wrong with you? You can't do that. What's wrong with you?
Mm,
You couldn't figure out another way. You so happy, but this ain't a happy moment. So go figure it out.
yeah.
You
Wow.
should just like somebody that's hitting you, go sit down somewhere and figure it out. It's your fault why you can't do it. It's your fault. So go figure it out and come back. Like you're not even talk like somebody's talking to you.
Right. And you
Like
wouldn't
somebody
even talk to someone else like that. And it's funny because a
yeah.
lot of us, I've been guilty of it. We talk to
Mhm.
ourselves like, how could you have put yourself in that position? How could you have done this?
Mhm.
But you wouldn't even talk to you're someone you claim to love
Mm-mm.
like that. But
Nope.
we treat ourselves like that.
And we supposed to love ourselves first, but people have to recognize, I hope anybody that's watching, that we have more self and emotional abuse going on within ourselves that's going to create a monster. So now that I hope you guys recognize, I hope I made it clear enough for you guys to recognize what it was, you can attack it and don't let it grow.
I
Because,
love that.
yeah, limited beliefs grow like weeds.
They do. And it gets in your mind, it gets in your head. And the next thing you know, it's,
Hmm.
it's your outlook.
Yeah, we got to start. We got to turn these weeds into flowers. We got to get them out of here because we all
I love
deserve
that.
better. We all deserve better for ourselves, and we can't do nothing to nobody around us. How we gonna teach somebody how not to be abusive if I'm in the corner telling me what not to do?
Right. And one thing I love about you from the different conversations we had, because we just connected,
Mm-hmm.
when you contacted me to be on here, the one thing I love is that you have such great energy. So
Oh,
it's not like you're saying, no, I'm good. I'm happy. I don't have my vision, but no, you're really good. You're really happy.
very
And
happy.
it shows,
I am a
you know.
happy person. Yes, I would
And
love
what
to
is
teach
that you said?
somebody.
You said you're
Anybody.
blind, fine, the world is yours, the world is
You gotta
mine.
be. You gotta be fine first. Fine, blind, and the world is mine. Come
I
on,
love that. I
blind.
love that, Netta. So speaking of which, now you have a podcast, and I
Yeah.
would, recommend anyone to listen to that because her personality is so contagious. Can you tell us about your podcast? And I'm gonna show it. It's at the bottom of the screen as well. So
Okay, I'll tell you if you tell me if I'm centered.
you're good.
Okay,
We're gonna make
so
this work.
it's okay. Y'all gonna hear this. You don't need my face. You're gonna hear this voice. So my podcast is Who is Netta? Netta question mark. And I just give it to you. Transparent. I tell you straight up, I don't chop and screw nothing. So if you hear my a baby in the background, you hear me close the window, I'm telling you, like, hey, I had to close the window. I'm not cutting this out. It's not gonna come out. I talk about my dreams, not just what I want to be, but literally the dreams I have and what I think they mean. I talk about everything. I talk
Yeah.
about everything. And I would love for everybody to join my journal. I call it my personal journal. I have gotten to a place where I'm now going to be jumping into my second season. So everyone has to catch up, be nosy, learn about
I
me.
love
So
that.
yeah.
And just so you know, I have your info at the bottom of the screen so they can all see where to find you on Spotify, Apple, and if you are blind as well, it would be Victor Reader Stream, which I have at the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time. You know, we've had quite a few texting and preparing
Okay.
for the call. You wanted to make sure you were center and all that stuff, but
Mhm.
I love that you still were willing to come on to a virtual platform that
Yes,
means
anytime,
you have to,
anytime.
y'all, she's holding her phone right now, trying to
The
make sure she's
whole
in her.
time.
She's holding her phone. That is dedication. So I
I
want to
am
thank you so
dedicated
much.
to the world.
We need you. We need your energy. I'm so
Mhm.
appreciative I met you. And for everyone who's watching this now, this series actually wraps up, not series, sorry, this episode wraps up the Domestic Violence Awareness Month for the month of October. So I'm so happy that you're able to join me for this month. I
Mhm.
am Paula Elochi. I'm the lead intuitive transformation coach and owner at Directing Paths. So I'm a person who assists you from when you're exiting those abusive relationships, being a workplace, family, personal, romantic. I'm helping you reclaim your power and heal loudly. So feel free to check me out as well. I have my information at the bottom of the screen. Again, thank you so much
You're
for coming
welcome.
onto the show and being such a light. You know, I really appreciate and holding your phone.
No problem. You know me. I will hold my phone for you anytime.
Thank you, thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. Well, thank you guys all for watching. And Netta, feel free to stick around at the end. I'm going to end the broadcast.
Okay.
Okay.